Do you ever have a knitting project that takes way longer to finish than it should? For me, it was the shawl I want to talk to you about today. This shawl took me over 3 months to finish, which is a little miracle of slowness for such a simple design. In truth, I have no real explanation as to why this took me this long. But as a beautiful German spring turned into a scorching but rainy summer, I found myself taking it everywhere, just in case motivation would suddenly strike me. And so this shawl has many stories to tell. From the time it visited this rock formation, fabled to once have housed a sleeping Valkyrie, to the time it accompanied me into a 19th century farmhouse, or the time we had some lovely cake together. It could also tell you about this castle I visited, which has proudly stood on the shores of the River Rhine for centuries before being bought by an opera singer in the 70s, or about these angry frogs serenading the setting sun. And so in the end, I am at peace with how long this project took to finish. After all, good things take time, is a saying both in English and in German, so there has to be some truth to that. And the shawl that travelled everywhere now lives happily with a friend of mine. Hello and welcome back to the Done for Spark Knitting podcast. Since there is a few new people here, I thought I would super briefly reintroduce myself. My name is Nicola and I am a knitter from Germany. Today I have one finished object for you and one new cast on, so I would say without further ado, let's just dive right into it. The finished object I have for you this week is a lace shawl, and let me show it to you. I'm saying lace shawl in the widest sense of the word because it has this cute little lace border, but the shawl itself is knit in stockinette stitch, and this is a really nice half circle shawl. It's called Palmyre. The pattern is on Ravelry, and as far as I know it's available in French and in English, which might be useful for some of you. I forgot the name of the designer. Shame on me, but I will put it in the description down below in case you're looking for it. And yes, as you can see, the construction is really nice. It's basically has these two lines running through it. Here, I don't know if you can see it. Let me hold it closer. Yeah, there and there. And that's where you add on stitches. And that gives us this super nice kind of like uniform look, where the increases are noticeable, but in a kind of really planned, structured way. And then it finishes in this super cute kind of palm leaf border, fan. I know the designer described this as Art Nouveau, and I can completely see that. This does really remind me of the Art Nouveau kind of elements from the early 20th century with how it's fanning out, and I think it's really beautiful, this lace border. It is also very simple, the lace, to knit. What might be a little bit complicated is that it has patterned stitches on both sides here and there, so you don't have rows where you can just kind of zone out and relax when you're knitting the lace border, but the border itself is only a few rows, so you have to concentrate while knitting the end of the shawl, but it's not going to take you forever. And I also really like this cute little crochet loop cast off that adds all of the little loops to the fans. And I made this not for myself, but for a friend who recently had a baby, because I thought it would be quite nice for her to have around her shoulders if she has to get up at night. Let me put it around so you can see how it would sit, because I thought it's kind of nice to wrap around your shoulders if it's the middle of the night, it's cold and dark, and you just want a little bit of. But to be honest, I knit this way too slowly, and now it's summer, and while we're having a really gloomy week here in Germany, it's kind of too warm to use at the moment, but I hope she'll get a lot of wear out of it once autumn rolls around. Also, I don't know, let me know if some of you are watching the Euros, the football Euro Cup, because from that you can see how completely wild German summer is. I don't think most people know that, but it's just completely incredible how much the weather here can shift. If you've watched the coverage, you've seen games interrupted by thunderstorms, then games like suffering from complete heat above 30 degrees Celsius, and people had to run around in that. Then we had 18 degrees today and rain, so it's been all over the place. So maybe she will get 1 or 2 days in the next few weeks where she can also wear this. I am going to put it up behind me so you can get a better look while I keep talking. There we go. It's not fully in the background, I'm sorry for that, but I hope you're getting a good impression from it at least. So this is the Palmyre Shawl, and let me tell you a bit about my knitting experience with this pattern. The pattern is super well written, and I think this is actually potentially a good first lace pattern for people. Even though it is patterned on both rows, it is really easy to follow, and the stitches are really not complicated. There's a lot of knitting through the back loop in there, pearl knit stitches. There is, I think, 1 double yarn over somewhere. There are a few yarn overs here and there, a few knit 2 together, slip and knit, things like that. But I think you would be fine if you're an adventurous beginner lace knitter. So that is a good thing, because it's also really nice to just have a few rows of lace to start with, which is the case here. It's not an all over lace shawl, so you would knit the body in stockinette stitch, and then once you get to the lace border, if you make mistakes, you just have a few rows that you have to go back, so it's not such a super frustrating experience to do. And also, if you get into the lace and you just realize lace knitting is just really absolutely not my thing and I absolutely detest this, then you still have a half circle shawl that's basically finished. So you just put a few rows on it and then maybe find a nice decorative bind off to do, and then you could embroider it, and it's still a super nice shawl and you haven't wasted any time or resources making this. So this is a lace shawl I can really recommend for beginners. I think it's also a nice size. It's not too big, and the yarn you're knitting it with is not super fine. I knit this in a DK weight, so it's also not so finicky with the tiny needles, tiny stitches, and you're trying to work out how to knit lace on top of that. So if you've been looking for a pattern to get started with lace knitting, then I think this is definitely one I would consider. And let me know in the comments if you decide to go for it, because I'm super curious about that. So that are the advantages of this pattern. Now, from my perspective, as someone who's quite experienced with lace knitting, I have to say I just completely misjudged my mood, and I was really not in the mood to do that much stockinette stitch, so I grew a little bit frustrated after a while, and there were kind of long breaks that this project was just languishing at the wayside a little bit. So I had a few weeks where I just didn't touch it at all, which is also the reason why it's so late. That and an absurd heat spell that just didn't want me knitting with alpaca yarn, because I just really couldn't deal with that in 30 degrees. I recently did a video about summer yarns. Any of those yarns would have been fine to do this with, but if you're like in the middle of a project and then suddenly there's a hot spell, then you don't want to just stop doing the project completely because it's too warm right then. You just put it aside, and that's what happened here. So it was supposed to be finished, to be honest, like 2.5 months ago, and it's only finished now. But I mean, it's supposed to be fun, right? It's our hobby, so it's just a nice thing we do, and no one is expecting this, so that is an added bonus. I was not on a deadline. It would have been nice to have the shawl for the mom finished when the baby was born, but I kind of messed that up completely because, again, timeline bad, but I did do it baby blanket, and that has been finished ages ago. I think I talked about it like 3 episodes ago or something like that, so that was finished in time. This was not, but that's also quite okay. The yarn I knit this in was Drops Puna. So this is a super nice alpaca yarn. This is extremely soft. It's like a little squishy cloud, and it is a decay weight yarn with 110 meters per 50 gram and 100% alpaca content. So no nylon, no wool, just absolute pure alpaca. I do love this yarn and I love the feeling of knitting with it. My one hiccup with it is that it tends to shed a little bit, and that's just not great. So if you do, I think that's, to be honest, I think that's a lot of alpaca yarns, but if you do pick this up and you make something out of it for someone, then I would maybe try to color coordinate it with the color that the person maybe most wears, because if they mostly wear black clothes and they end up with a lot of beige fluff on their clothes, then that's way more noticeable than if you go for black. In my case, the person I'm knitting this for is kind of wears a lot of neutrals, so I think this will actually go quite well, at least I hope so. But yeah, it might fluff. Oop, almost dropped it and caught it. It might fluff a little bit. It is also not machine washable. I think the label also says that somewhere. Nope, actually it does not. In here, okay, let me see. Yes, it says hand wash 30 degrees, and that is completely what I would agree with. You know, I tend to push the boundaries of what is doable with machine washing stuff because I am lazy. But in this case, I would really say please keep this away from the washing machine, because you'll end up with a sad, felted, soggy, weird thing, and no one wants that. If you're looking to make a shawl for a doll, then by all means go ahead and maybe put it in the dryer too. Although I didn't say that, don't put it in the dryer, just in case this is like then somehow flammable, because I just really don't know. Yeah, just keep it out of any mechanic washing or drying appliances whatsoever. It will also just start fluffing more if you put it in the washing machine. So this is a hand wash only item, no exceptions ever. And that's also something to keep in mind when making stuff out of it, because if it's something that gets washed quite often, then I would opt for another yarn, because this is a lot of upkeep to do. But for shawls or something like that doesn't get washed often, this is fine, because I mean, how often do you wash your scarves? Maybe I'm the outlier, but I don't wash them that often because they barely get like sweaty or dirty or get anything on them, so it's just really not necessary. That's why I picked this, and in this case I was also quite happy with that pick. I thought it would be a little nicer to maybe see more of the shawl at once, so I thought I would stand against this wall. Please do ignore my cat staircase for my little babies. And there you go. So this is basically the whole shawl, not quite for every corner, but almost. And yeah, you can see this Art Nouveau style pattern is just super nice. I just really do love it. And for reference, I'm also going to put it on again so you get an idea of how it would wear. So it would be around the shoulders like this, and you could easily kind of fold it over a little bit. You could pin it closed if you'd want to, but you could also just wear it like this and it would be perfectly fine. And if you leave it loosely, then it would just kind of go over your shoulders like that, like basically a little tiny bolero type thing. So I hope it's going to be a tiny bit helpful to my friend. I'm not so sure, but let's keep fingers crossed. If you're seeing this video, then it means she has gotten it, and I will update you in the next video with what she said about it. I do have another finished object to share with you, but it's not knitting related, so this is also going to be quite short, but I'm putting timestamps below. If you want to skip this because you're not interested in beading, then please go ahead. I recently got a little bit back into beading. I had some time and I do have quite a lot of beads, and even more now because of the knitting lace with beads on it thing that I like to do. And I decided to make a little necklace. And let me show you. Here it is. So you can see that these are some rosais, some seed beads here in this part of the necklace, and then these are glass pearls, so these are imitation pearls, they're not real, but they're quite well done, and I like it that they're made from glass, not plastic, because it also means they're quite heavy, have a nice weight to them. And then I got these cute little drops that I put on the fringes here a while ago from a bead store. It was in a mixed pack, so I had to pick out all of the ones that were in the same color, but I think it turned out really, really cute. Let me hold it more against this so you can see it better. And I'm super happy with this. I think this is really nice. I didn't put it on for this video because it kind of clashes with the color of the shirt I'm wearing, which is the Kuta Tea by Sari Nordlund. But let me quickly slap it on so you can get a better impression. Oh my god, it's just trying to do a clasp on camera is another level of stress, seriously. So yeah, here you can kind of see it. You have to kind of rearrange the tips a tiny bit if you wear it, but I think it's really cute and kind of antique looking from the pattern almost. It's a free pattern I found on the internet, and I'm super happy with it. I think this will look really cute with a summer dress. I hope I get the opportunity to wear it still this summer. And I have a brand new cast on for you, which I'm quite excited about because it's been a while. This is going to be a 12 bird shawl by Helen Stewart. And if you do still care about spoilers for this, because this was originally a knit along, then please skip ahead now. I've put the timestamps below. And if not, because also the whole knit along is published now, so you'll be able to see it anywhere anyway, I will now show you my little start that I've made here. So as you can see, this is a half circle shawl and it's still tiny, and I'm through pattern A, which is a kind of crescent half circle start to it with patterned stitches running out from the center. I think you can see them here. And I'm knitting the whole shawl in meadow yarns. I think the yarn type is called Pytel. I might be wrong about that, but if so, I will put in the description below. And this is part of a collection that I did that was called, I think, Times and Tides. And it features, no, it was not Times and Tides, it was A Skein Full of Sky, which features, like, is themed, and as a theme it has different kind of skies and sunsets and sunrises during the course of the year, which of course really appealed to me. So it's a collection of mini skeins, and I think it was like 7 or 9 or 10 mini skeins, even 12, I'm not fully sure anymore, but I had a lot of them, so I wound them up, and I'm going to make this a gradient from these sky inspired shades, and then I have a full skein of one color. This is also meadow yarns to kind of combine this with. For the color combination, I was so unsure, and then I asked on my Instagram, so I asked you guys for feedback, and you quite strongly voted one way, and then I asked my mom, who also fully was on board with that kind of color combination. I trust her sense of colors more than I trust mine. So in the end, I did go with that. Let me hold up some of the other mini skeins that are going to feature in this shawl. I'm sorry the light is not so great today. It's because it's so gloomy outside. So it's kind of difficult to accurately represent these colors, but I hope you kind of get a good impression. So these colors are a little bit out of my comfort zone. I don't really knit with violet, lilac colors that much, and a lot of them feature a little bit of that. But I am very excited about this because I think this is going to be super cute, and it's going to be for me, which is also nice. I'm keeping this, and dual tones generally kind of suit me quite well. So I hope that I'm going to be happy with this little experimentation and the end product of this. And I will keep you posted. I feel like I have a few videos ahead of me where I'll be talking about this because it will take me some time inevitably. But I hope you stick along for that and follow me on my 12 birds journey. As for acquisitions, I've been good. I did not buy any wool. I'm still making my way through my stash. There were a few summer sales that did absolutely tempt me, but in the end I decided to focus on what I already have and honor the wool that I've been collecting for the past few years and just keep knitting on that. Maybe next time I'll have some new yarn for you, but right now I'm happy with the yarn I have. I did buy some perfume and makeup things, but wool wise it's been a intentional dry spell, which I'm quite happy about sticking to. So yeah, that was basically it from my side for today. I hope you enjoyed this kind of shorter episode format. Let me know what you think, if you prefer longer videos that are a bit more rare. So like, I know I put some out that were like 40-50 minutes, an hour, but then I really only get enough content to make them every month or other months because I just simply don't knit that fast. Or if you prefer shorter videos but more often, which I'm also kind of quite happy with because it then means that I don't have to edit this kind of like Wagnerian opera thing of a video all at once and then it exports for 5 hours or whatever. And it kind of also means that you like edit in shorter chunks more often, which is more sustainable. But on the other hand, I know that I really enjoy people doing super long episodes because I can just have them on in the background for an hour straight while I knit myself or do household chores and stuff like that. So I would be really curious about your preferences. Let me know in the comments what you think and what you do prefer, and then I hope I will see you very soon with some updates on my 12 birds shawl. And if you did like this video but you're not subscribed yet, then please subscribe to this channel and give it a thumbs up, and I will hope to see you very soon. Bye!